All right, you're aspiring to be a software developer. It doesn't matter if you're in high school, you're in college, or you've been working for many years, but you're trying to make a career switch. If you're just getting started with computer science and trying to be a software developer, this is my biggest advice. And so my advice has to do with building the right foundation. And if you don't build the right foundation, everything you learn on top of that is just going to be wrong, basically. And what that's going to do is it's going to essentially hurt you. And it doesn't matter if you're a newbie or an experienced developer, since your foundation's wrong, you're just not going to be a good software developer. And because of that, and because you want to make a career out of it, that could be too catastrophic. And what do I mean by the wrong foundation? Well, that is focusing too much on the language. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, knowing how to write code is super important, right? At the end of the day, software developers write code. Knowing the details of the language, knowing the tricks of the languages, it'll make you an efficient developer, obviously. But if all you do is just focus on the language, that is bad. Because programming languages are just tools in your toolbox. And let's say you only learn one programming language. Let's say you learn Java. And in 15 years, or maybe 10 years, maybe 5 years, Java isn't used anywhere anymore. And because you've only trained yourself in Java, you're kind of screwed because no one's using it. So what should you do? Well, you should be focusing on learning on how to problem solve, because the core of computer science isn't programming languages. It's problem solving, right? Let's say that you've worked only in Python and you get something and you have to do it in Java. Well, if all you did was train yourself in languages, you're not going to do well. You're not going to be able to solve something in Java. You're just going to have to put your hands up and say, I'm sorry, I've never used Java before. I don't know how to do it. But if you're good on your problem solving techniques, you're going to have at least some idea. Maybe you've never used Java before, but you're going to have an idea. And you're not just going to give up. You can provide some kind of input on, okay, this is how I would do it. I don't know any Java, but if I did, this is how I would do it. And you provide some kind of pseudocode for it, right? Another thing that you should be doing is learning about the core computer science concepts. Because the core concepts, regardless of the language, they're going to be the same, right? An array works pretty much the same way in Python and in JavaScript, right? And learning about that, right? Learning about how you can solve problems and think about those problems without even thinking about the language at hand, develop some kind of pseudo solution, and then using your tool to implement that solution is going to be much better than just, here's the problem that I have, and this is the language that I'm supposed to use, and I just jump right in and I use the language and the tools that it has to offer and try to solve it that way. That is not what computer science is about. And if that is what you try to do, you're not going to do well, and you are going to struggle. I can't stress that enough. And I really hope that anyone listening to this actually, starts focusing more about problem solving and the core computer science concepts. Anyways, that's really it. I really hope that this does help anyone who is trying to be a software developer. And if you like this video, then please make sure to share it with your friends, your family, and hit the subscribe button. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.